Hey, hey, how's it going? I'm assuming that you can hear me okay, because I'm using my other computer with my RME audio interface. And anybody who is left-handed knows what I'm going through right now as I switch mice to one that's a little more accurate for audio editing and stuff like that. Oh, well, you can't see the screen, so of course you wouldn't know what I'm doing, but basically you have to change your mouse settings back and forth if you use any sort of mouse over network device. Also, games, they don't seem to care very often if you are right or left-handed. Also, I have carpal tunnel pretty badly, because like all I've done for the last 40 years is played an instrument, used a computer, or punched things. And so, not because I have a temper, but because I used to compete in boxing and things like that. And so I really like these. If you've ever used one of these, it's a vertical mouse. They're amazing for your wrist. They're very good. There's like one brand for left-handed people, and it's terrible. It's like a $15 mouse. Logitech makes a good one for right-handed people. And obviously, I can't be, that would be awkward, and I'd have to be like that all day, which would probably dislocate my shoulder. So anyway, I'm using some, what brand of mouse am I using? I'm not telling you what brand of mouse I'm using, because A, I'm not all that happy or sad with it. I have no reason to recommend it. And B, I feel like that's a little too close to a sponsorship. Anyway, speaking of sponsorship, this video is brought to you by my patrons. This stream is, and video. I'm going to leave it up unless things go terribly wrong. Speaking of sponsorships, see all of those panels back there? So I got something fun to announce. I think within 2 weeks, probably, I will have a video and a stream that will change the way that this studio looks. I am getting a custom. So basically, I spent a lot of time in the Badlands and on the Sioux Reservation, or the Lakota Reservation, depending on what area you're in North and South Dakota. And I've done a lot of photography over there in the last 15 years. And it's like a place that I've always gravitated to. It's very spiritual and inspiring to me. Not in any sort of like kooky new agey way, but anytime I've gone there, I've come home and I've just written a lot of music. And if you're a fan of my music, then you'll definitely recognize songs like Interior, South Dakota, which is a town on the Sioux Reservation, a ghost town. Undiscovered Colors, my biggest music video and probably my most popular song, was shot big time-lapse video out there. I think the vast majority, well, not vast, but the majority of my music videos have been shot in that region. So I've done a ton of photography, and to get to the point, I am partnering with a company who is basically putting new panels up in my studio that are way better than these ones, and they all have my photography from that region. And so it's going to be like, I guess, Plains themed or Badlands themed in here, and they're going to have LEDs on them as well. And also I'm going to be using SonarWorks to tune the room, and I'm going to bring you through that process, which will be fun because feel like most people don't really know how that's done. And it's usually very boring to explain how that's done. But this time, not so much. It's going to be super entertaining. It's going to be great. One last thing before I hit the old session here, I want to share what I'm doing to Twitter now that I have a bunch of new followers because I have ducks. And yeah, streaming live right now. You know what else I want to talk about in this tweet? On this other computer that you can't see, I am not only streaming live right now, but there's also a big giveaway where Antares is nice enough to give away one license for 3 years for AutoTune Unlimited, one license for 2 years, and one license for 1 year, which equals like $1,200 or something like that. So I'm just going to hope that my quick math was right and say $1,200 plus giveaway from Antares. Okay, that was boring. This is what it's like hanging out with me, is I just like have to pick up my phone and then I freeze for a moment and I glitch out. Yeah. So, what are we doing today? We are looking at something that I missed in my last big auto-tune choir feature, because they were naughty and they released this right after I made that video. And I missed it. And this is actually one of the more exciting auto-tune things that I've seen. Totally different than anything else in their suite. This is actually a VSTI. This is an instrument, whereas everything else is an effect. Wow. I like that beard texture into this Lawton audio. It's nice. Actually, really, I don't mean to be weird right now. I'm not like one of those ADSR people, but that actually sounds, with my headphones on, a little clearer than I expected it to. And it makes sense because this is like a really good voiceover mic and a good texture mic in general. And this makes me want to like go around the house and record odd textures. So maybe I'll fry an egg and no, I don't want to put this in the pan. Anyway, so what are we looking at today? Auto-Tune Slice. And what is Auto-Tune Slice? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you are using FL Studio, the first thing you're going to want to do when you install Auto-Tune Slice, because I freaked out when I installed this earlier because I was like, oh no, this doesn't work with FL Studio. There's some sort of issue, but no issue at all. I have no idea if it's my graphics card settings on this machine, but I turned off use OpenGL graphics because when it was on, it looked pretty much about the same, but it was very, very slow and made my entire session slow to a crawl, which I'm going to go out on a ledge and say is not ideal. So I'm glad that we sorted that out, and here we are now. So I have, okay, let's start out and let's just like look at this and see what it is that it does first. And then because I think I'm going to go really deep and use this for a lot of things that it's not. So it's kind of like, if anybody's familiar with something like SliceX in FL Studio, I don't know. I think like every DAW has a version of this, like a slicey sampler. Where did that start? That would be Propeller Head. What was the name of the program? Recycle. Back in the day, I'm not going to tell you this a long story, I promise, making it really quick. Back in the day, I had a SCSI sampler, and the only thing I used a computer for in my music workflow, this is like 2003 or something, I would take a sample, I would download a sample or, something like that, and then I would send it to my Akai sampler via SCSI using Recycle, which had auto slicing. And at that time, that auto slicing technology to be able to detect transients was just like, oh, and it would just send it, and then I would have a drum kit or something like that. So now that story time is over, let's look at what that turned into, because this is very much different from SliceX because it has all of Antares options in there, like you'll see in a moment, but it has auto-tune built in and all these other things. And really what this is at face value, from like the moment I laid eyes on it, I realized that what this is the perfect future sound maker. That makes sense? Like that sort of high-pitched voices. If I imitate it, I'm just going to be like taking a piss on the entire genre. But not only is it future, but I feel like it's like worked its way into hip-hop. It's worked its way into like more, I don't want to say obscure, but I guess more left field stuff like Machine Drum, who's, I mean, I'm probably more left field than he is, but Travis, great friend of mine, amazing musician, Vapor City, if you're familiar with those albums, uses a lot of vocal elements like that. And so Rooms is another one that you're definitely going to want to check out on Planet Mute Records. And it's like weirdly after that, not saying that he invented this style, but after that and after the DJ Rashad stuff, rest in peace, we have now pop music just has these like weird vocal elements in them all over the place. And this is kind of the first plugin that I know of that really hits on that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, and it's used everywhere, like it's not only used in like edgier EDM stuff, but it's also used in like commercials and, things like that. So I don't know what I'm clicking right now. I'm just clicking this is Epic Trance. Let's not start with Epic Trance. Let's start with Chopping Blocks, Best of Me. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit some keys here. Yeah, so we could just like make a beat right off the bat. So you're probably already like making a beat in your head to that. They have a lot of different, each one of these packs that comes with it. I don't think they like loaded me up on packs or anything. These all come with it. Ooh, nice. I like that. Like, so these all have like a lo-fi thing on them. Let me turn that off really fast. Obviously, we could like change all stuff. I don't want that delay. Oh yeah, by the way, I hit edit, which is nice. You could see exactly what's going on. And we can also auto-tune these. So like this is in D minor. If I want this in D major. And we could also like turn the retuning speed and tracking back to minor. Transpose. Hooray! So now you know what we're dealing with here. I'm going to look at the comments for a moment. Yeah, let's talk about perpetual licenses in a minute. Not in a minute, in like an hour. Stick around, and we'll talk about perpetual licenses, because I think it's a very important discussion to have. But I've already talked about it a bit on this channel, but I have some thoughts. I was very opposed to them, and then a bunch of companies gave me a lot of money. No, I'm joking. Nobody gave me any money for that. Over time, I started, and really, I'm not going to totally get into this now, but I think I got more aligned with perpetual licenses when doing things like making my music videos in 3D, because 3D animation software is insanely priced. Like, it's not even funny how much some of that stuff costs, and I would have not been able to make the videos I made without perpetual licenses, because no way I would have been able to, pay $5,500 for a plugin for Cinema 4D or something like that, or a rendering engine. But perpetual license, and then if I need to make another music video down the line, I could just pay that license again and render it without the watermark. I kind of want to hear this without the... Oh, okay, so this is without auto-tune on. Okay, so another thing that we can do, just right off the bat, I'm just sort of his fire hooks between you and me. 80s kid rap hook.
I can't stop. Yo, I'm rocking this hot. What we do? Why we rocking silent? Yo, I'm rocking this. Yo, I'm
Junior Sanchez. I don't know who that is, but he's talking about that body. Say. Nice. Some of these only have one, and we'll get into where that's beneficial in a moment. What's this one called? Fracking? Is that really called fracking? Backing. Sorry. I said fracking. I was like, wow. We're energy industry enthusiasts. Oh, I dig that. So let's like take one of the simpler ones of these, and then that we could start breaking it apart and looking at actually looking at what it does, and then we could start making our own. And Morgan Page wants us to follow him. I'm trying to see if there's one that has like. Trying to find one with like a weird transient in it. Nice. This'll work. Okay, so we could, let's turn on, let's put this in C major. Yeah, let's go with C minor. I'm going to turn off all the effects. Not all the effects. So, we can change these around, of course. So if I wanted this, we could zoom in just with the scroll wheel. So if I only wanted it to be, and then if I only wanted this one to be the second note in there. So let's say I wanted to make, say I wanted to pick one of these. Well, first thing we could do is turn this into chromatic, which now changes whatever I select. Let's say I select this one. I don't know which one I like the best. Like that sort of traditional pitch sampler. Maybe this one. I just want to find like one good. Okay, so I can change this to reverse. I could change it to Varus speed. Could go forward past endpoint like that, so it'll keep going. Loop forward. Loop forward to reverse. And I guess forward would be fine for now, for what I am intending on doing. And just gonna try and create like a little synth. Maybe I don't even want that vibrato. I could even go, if I want to loop it. Oh, nice, yeah. So I could just. And if we could find. If we could be somewhere exact, like very similar transients that it ends on, we could get like a nice. All right, wonderful. Let's do something with this. Some reverb, obviously. Let's get that double out of here. What other effects can we have in here? Let's see. A phaser would actually be nice. with a very slow rate and not that much depth and not that much feedback. And the center could be right in the middle. And we can, let's see. Oh, maybe, actually, this would be an interesting place to use Cthulhu for anybody who's familiar with Cthulhu. All right, what are some chord presets for Cthulhu? I know I have a bunch of classical ones in here. Ooh, a Bach prelude. Okay, so Cthulhu, I believe I have the input port here. I'll show you how to do this for anybody who is an FL Studio user. Input port 3, see right down there, MIDI. Output port 3, and now this can control this. I'm going to turn off the arpeggiator for a moment. Well, no, we can keep it on. This should be fine. Let's try it out. Nice. Maybe a little bit shorter. I could also transpose this. That's way too high. Why did that just transpose to like 2 million? Well, Cthulhu. I have no idea what just happened. Cthulhu has lost its mind. Has it? Has it really? What's going on here? I never use X for plugins. Not because I like hate them or anything, but because these kind of things do sometimes happen with them. Which is problematic. I just make sure I'm not. Yeah. Just sort of. Can I like load up a default? Default. Nope. All right. I guess we are going to reopen that one more time because I was really, really excited about some Bach. Did you hear that? Some people probably already heard this, but basically there's this like script that they're trying to pitch where all these like old action movie stars are like playing this weird, I was just reading about this where they're playing some weird, it's like an action movie with all of the composers, and apparently there's been like some contention over like who can be who, and I think like it had Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone, Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and some other people. And there was this, I was hearing about this where Sylvester Stallone, he wants to be Mozart, and Jackie Chan for some reason wants to be Beethoven, and and Jason Statham wanted to be Bach, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "I'll be Bach." I'm going to fucking leave the stream now. Okay, so I'm not even going to look at the chat. I don't even want to see how that went down. And I don't want to see the number just drop. Let's go down to 90 BPM here. Ooh, nice. This is the old Ave Maria prelude. I like how the joke was delayed by like a minute. Just seeing the now I see the chat ping. So this sounds fresh. Unlike that joke, this sounds pretty fresh to me. Now I actually want to hear the The fugue, if anybody knows that. I'm not gonna hum it, but for those of you who aren't into classical music in any way, if you listen to Bach's preludes and fugues, he'd like write a song like this one is a song essentially. I mean, it's a little different, but it's being played by, I think, like, you know, obviously we have a slightly different arpeggiator, but yeah, Bach would write these preludes, and then he would write fugues. And if you know what a fugue is, then that's pretty amazing, because he would just like write a song and then write a fugue to it. And I always wondered, like, if I released like an album where I just wrote fugues to everything, but I don't know. I feel like you can't really write fugues the same way as they used to be written back in the day. I love how he wouldn't, for a moment, even though I'm not talking about the software here, I'm talking about this, but I loved how, maybe make this delay. Ooh, let's make a pad, actually. There. And then you think it's just gonna resolve into that. But Bach never did that. He would always just go into this crazy tense part. So it'd be like this, and like this, then like that, then like that. Tense again. And resolve. But it's like, if that Ave Maria song that we know it today, but it's that Bach prelude, I don't know which number it is, but is that not like the freshest? That might be the best melody of all time, like, period. And I'm not like a huge classical music person, believe it or not, but that might be the best. Like I'll never get sick of that. Like, I think that might be the best melody ever written, and it was written way early, and nobody's ever going to beat it. Well, maybe I will in this stream. Maybe I'll beat Ave Maria. Okay, so if we want to move this around, obviously. I feel like I've already like completely gone far beyond how this is intended to be used. I like the delay. The delay's easy enough, and the phaser sounds fine. I'm a reverb snob, so the reverb's not great, so I'm going to pump it into something else. I don't know if I have to, like, reauthorize my Melda on this machine. Just use some of the old vintage verb. This version's out of date. Okay. Now let's revisit that. And we could choose something a little bit more interesting than Bach. I like the Clair de Lune chords in here. They're fun to play with. It's a good way to like learn about classical music. Actually, this might be a little bit too far. The pitch range sound good. Let's. Oh, nice. Crank that up. Even that, like, little Even that little hook right there, I'm calling Debussy hook. Oh, and you could have slices overlap, which I did not expect. And it detects the root, by the way, just so you know. All right, I like this little hook here. I wonder if that would count as like a... I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of... It's about as... Like, it makes me think like I probably would write that exact thing anyway, like without using an arpeggiator that borrows from Clair de Lune, just simply because, you know, obviously I know the song, and as we all do. Actually, I think this might be way too fast. Is it? No, that's good. Okay. So we've all seen this being used for future. So I don't think there's anything else here that I mean I definitely want to, you know, click the picture of the girl and then be like but I think I want to load my own little voice in here. So not necessarily my own little voice, but something else. I do have these sound libraries on here. I have a whole lot. A lot are my own recordings, and then I have a lot of stuff that's not. Oh, you know what? I also have opened that up earlier. I also have Soundly. So pick an animal. How about a wolf? A nice wolf cry. Oh, Soundly is in use on another machine. That's... I wonder what other machine it is. That's sad when I have like a sound design library open on multiple machines. I've never run into that issue either. All right, sorry, I don't want to. Hopefully it sends me out of the other machine. Okay, here we go. For anybody who's familiar with Soundly, it's like it's useful for... It's not the best, it's not the worst. So, do I have my volume down? Yes, I don't want to freak out my dog. This would be a Halloween thing for her to hear this. Is the Soundly engine dying? That's a wolf whistle. Maybe I'll search Howl. I don't think we're gonna be able to hear anything just due to like the whole ACO streaming situation, but if I could get one dog howling. Ooh, a cartoon dog howl. Okay. Soundly's not doing so well. Oh, I think it's like, yeah, it must be confused with my audio driver. So I am going to Howl. Howling wind? That'd be pretty weird. Maybe I should just not use this and maybe use drag and drop from a... See, thing is I always want to like bring the windows in here, but I know that I can't do that just because there's always a chance that I have some intellectual property that's not supposed to be seen. That's the problem when you actually work on things. Oh, you know what? I do have the game audio bundle, which is free. You could just search it if you want. It's yeah, it's free, and it has tons of sounds, and it's basically just like a demo of sound libraries. And I think they release one every year. Turkey. Oh, that's probably the country. Yeah, and there's like, 5 sounds per folder or something like that. It's nothing crazy. Mouthy, chomping. Let's see if they have animals. Urban trees. Ooh, Shetland pony vocals. Now this is what I'm looking for. Okay. That's a little not what I'm looking for. Ooh. Okay, perfect. This is what we want. This is the answer. Somebody said that these presets sound boring. Well, this is the answer to your problem. We're gonna put a pony in here. Yeah. All right. Pony hook. All right. This is gonna get weird. I think. Right. Let's. Nice. Turn that auto tune up. That's amazing. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm not in a bad way, like in a good way. Like I'm kind of overwhelmed. Like I'm like, man, there's a lot of options with this here pony. Like I could turn that's it's just beautiful. And I don't expect it to be, you know, just what if we turn the all right, so I wonder if I can just have it. Oh yeah, and so totally not forgetting the fact that I can have this. Let's go forward to reverse. So I can also crank up the attack, and I believe I could use like 5 voices. I could use up to 8 voices at once. So I wonder how processor intensive this is going to be. We are going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Wow. So all of these are auto-tuned independently? Oh my God. It sounds like it sounds like footsteps. No, I'm joking. It sounds like a pedal steel. Like that is gorgeous sounding. I was all like, I'm going to just find an animal sound and find one little transient and then make that into like an oscillator and then go with this Debussy thing. But I'm sorry, Claude. Why did I say it that way? Claude. I'm sorry, Claude. I believe that the horse sound, the pony wins today. That'll be the name of this song. I'm sorry, Claude. The pony wins today. The auto-tuning really allows me to find a harmony that I did not plan to find. Like I don't really understand exactly what I'm playing, which is a good thing because it's like, this isn't... Oh, it literally has that like country, like, yeah. All right, so let's just stick with this for a moment. I like that. Flashbulb Countryside Project. Look up Louisiana Morning, man. That's already been there. I've already been there. Yeah, that counts as country, right? Well, I mean, I have a pedal steel upstairs, too. It's insanely hard to play, and it's in my VR room right now. Like, I have a virtual reality room, and I'm not doing any VR game dev projects now, so... But I want to go somewhere after this. People always yell at me for not ending on, like, the 8th bar, but I hate ending on the 8th bar. Oh yeah, save. Something I never ever do. All right. Before we load up other plugins, I don't know who should do the bass for this. Who's got the bass? I really need to update. It's funny, I have so many plugins that are updated on this other machine over here from streams, but yeah. Spire. Remember this? Anybody use this lately? I like these like basic plugins for things like this. Like, you know, that's all you need. I don't want to spend 2 hours finding a bass. I probably will anyway, but I'm going to want some legato there. That's an F. It's so weird I can't find my melodic center with this weird melody because it's going through autotune. Which is fine. We're not writing any... That's A, okay. And this is probably going to be D. Weird how where it ends up. Oh yeah, and then I also wanted to transpose this down. If I wanted this to be shorter, I could do that too. And use the actual attack. I really like how it shows how each sample's playing out in real time too. Like that's actually really helpful. I'm hearing a piano. I'm hearing a ratty piano. I'm just going to choose this rather than choosing a whole sample library. See, U4 weathered. And you could, if anybody's familiar with piano tech, you could actually weather it just by doing this. Nice. And that, let's see if I have M Turbo Verb on here. Yes. Let's go with Galaxies. I mean, just for the record, I have no idea where this is headed, so. Let's choose the second. Might make more sense to just map out the actual sustain pedal switch, which is MIDI number 64, CC number 54, the damper / sustain, and then edit that event in piano roll, and now it's just open. And so now any piano, now it will just stay open for us. I don't know what kind of beat to put on this. Maybe let's just go with an 808. It's an 808, right? Yeah. It's another thing that I need to update. I've been thinking about the 808 a lot. I've been thinking about the 808 a lot, and I've been thinking about the 303 a lot. I'm not going to buy an 808. I'm also not going to buy a Behringer 808. I'm also almost bought the Roland TR08. I have a TR8, which is fine. I dig it. It's digital and it's great. I love it. There's no issue with it whatsoever. But I did think about buying the TR08, thinking that it might be analog, because even on like the Sweetwater site or whatever, it says 10 individual outs. And I was like, oh, or it did say 16 individual outs. And I was like, okay, here, have my money. Here you go. And then I noticed further down in the fine print, via USB. And I was like, well, that is stupid. Why would I buy a hardware 808? Anyway, yeah, so I didn't buy it. Yeah, we've invented Duckwave this week on social media, and now we're doing Ponywave. That's great. Yeah, okay, so let's turn off internal sequencer, same thing. But yeah, like some part of me wants a 808 and a 303 in front of me. Like, yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, maybe I need some time with my 808 or with my TR8 and a TB303. One of the many. Well, there is a version of a TB3. I want the TT. Is that the one? Yeah, I want the Cyclone one. I have the dreaded Behringer one, which is fine, but I'm also not that inspired by it. As much as I want to talk trash about Behringer, if you got like 100, however much it costs, if you got like $150 and you want a 303, that'll do just fine. But it's also not that inspiring to use for some reason. And maybe it is because it has like Uli's the stain of Behringer on it. You know what else I need to sit down and play with? Just for the record, I'm going to grab it really fast. I'm going to show it to you. I have to unplug everything. Okay, ready? Ready to see this? This is what's... I feel like I should do something called, like, a weekly thing called Ben's Mailbox. But here's this. This is a Vector synth, which is... yeah, I was going to review something else this week, and I got, like, a defective unit. So I'm doing this one instead. And I was like, yeah, I'll just, sort that out. Little Vector synth. Wow. No, this thing is pretty heady. It's nice. I'm excited about it, but it is one of the more unique synthesizers I've ever played with in my entire life. Touchscreen, animated envelope generators, overtone effectors. It's kind of like an additive synth, but not. It's awesome. So yeah, just heads up. Another thing, kind of excited to play with, been thinking about lately. This isn't new. I've had this for a bit, but this guy, the little M8 tracker. I have the 48th one ever made, and it is really powerful. I think I'm okay with doing a stream on that sometime soon, because I didn't, like, when it came out, it was a little bit too close to the Polyend tracker thing, and I was doing the contest with them, and also the Polyend tracker is excellent. And whenever you do these things, people just say which one is better, and like, I don't think that they're all that comparable. I guess, like, not everything is a desert island situation. If you're a tracker enthusiast, if you love trackers, if you've been using trackers on the computer, and then you loved using Nano Looper on the Game Boy, you should buy both of them, because both are like custom tailored to you. I don't understand why people are so like one versus the other, but I get that, like, money is a thing, of course, but that's like, they're both your dream synths if you're into trackers. Like, never did we think we'd see a day where we'd have like actual outboard tracker synths. I'd like this pitch to be lower, please. Oh, that's right. Real 808s, you can't just like tune the bass to whatever you're working on. Okay. All right. So maybe a little less decay then, and maybe I'll put it through a nice fat envelope filter of some sort. Maybe just a compressor. Maybe through Combinat. If anybody's ever used this. Yep. That's what it does. Turns your... It's actually a really good, really good distortion plugin. Just so you know. But now we don't need a super... Okay. And last but not least, we're going to want that first channel to come out of there. So that way we could duck the bass with it. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So, uh-oh, wait a minute. Not both should be coming out there. Something's goofy here. Go into processing. Oh yeah, this is the main. And then this. Hello, what's going on here? What's going on here, Nephiton? Okay, so the bass drum, I'm going to route that to 2. Now let's try it. There we go. Okay. And, naturally, I do want everything to be affected by Wonderful. And here we have a peak controller, which, for those of you who are familiar with peak controllers, where's my peak controller? Hello? Peak controller, where are you? I usually have like a dual window setup. There it is. So you can see it. And the peak controller is controlling the balance here on the duct channel, which is where my bass is routed into. And this bass is a little intense with the distortion and everything, so we're probably going to want to increase the tension. All right, and so now let me mute auto-tune slice. And that way, you're not dealing with too many frequencies overlapping. Cool. Ain't that cool? That's how you duck something. Well, you could also, that's actually not the traditional way of how to duck something in FL Studio, but that's the way I like doing it because it becomes quite easy to kind of duck everything with everything else. You could kind of make your track mix itself if you want to spend enough time routing things around. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, the reason I like FL Studio so much is because you can kind of control everything with everything else, which is obviously handy. All right. Make a little boring beat here. Where's my clap? All right. Just do a quick 16th, Alt U. I mean, I'm just doing this quickly, but if you could also go into like randomize the velocity of these. And lower the volume, of course. And we could also swing the heck out of it. Up here even. There we go. All right. And one last thing before I continue, I'm going to, oops, not have that in there. I'm going to cut this and I'm just going to put it in its own channel, and I'm not going to name it because I'm lazy. But that's the bass channel. There we go. Now everything should be in its own channel except for the piano, which I'm also lazy about. Oh no, the piano is in its own channel. Yeah, this is okay. I mean, I'm not like ecstatic about it. I'm more ecstatic about the ponies than anything else. And for those who are just logging in now, I'm more ecstatic about the ponies that I've sampled, not just ponies in general. I mean, I am ecstatic about ponies, but... because it has that like beautiful country twang, it's so bizarre. Okay, so I have a question. You know what? I'm just gonna like render out the only important thing in here is the ponies and the pony howls. And I'm going to just render out a loop track at 100, and I'm just going to go with 125 BPM, even though it's halved. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna render that out for, maybe I'll just post it to my, I don't know, is it even worth posting my, like, whenever I think about, like, oh, I'll post this to my Patreon, then I'm just like, is this worth posting to Patreon? Like, would anybody actually use this horse sample? Wouldn't they rather just download the trial and make their own horse sample? Because you could do that for free. I think it's a free trial. I hope it's a free trial. I hope I'm not lying. But yeah, I believe it's a free trial. And yeah. How about I just make a little Patreon folder here. And I will call it 125 BPM pony fire. Okay. Because they are on fire, those ponies. Yeah, I agree. I think the 808, I think it's impossible to have an 808 not take space away from other things. But yeah, you want to run VCV patches inside your modular gear? Believe in expert sleepers will help you do that. A lot of Modu interfaces, they have the converters. I'm assuming you probably already know this. I'm going to open a new session. I'm going to start over. We got the ponies. We're all set. So let's do it. You know, I was just thinking today that, like, I really have a major problem with drum machines. Like, I don't own one that I'm happy with. And I don't think that there's a VST that's, like, a go-to for me. Like, I just don't have a go-to drum thing. And look at these. I have like, all of them. Like, I don't really... Yeah. I feel like Utonic, or Microtonic, whatever you want to call it, I feel like that would be nice if it had more channels. And I'm just, yeah, I'm like not satisfied with samplers, like drum machine samplers. Like, I want drum synthesis in AI Factory 4. All right, let's hear this. Apple verbs. Yeah, I like how weird these are. It's interesting. I'm gonna work with this. I mean, I want to load another animal, but I'm also... what kind of BPM do I want here? $135. is going to sound. Or swing, rather. I like the KV reverb, actually. I'm actually going to turn... No, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to turn it down. I'm going to turn some of the low pass down. It was a little too bassy, even in my headphones. Edit. All right. Filters. Ooh. Oh, no way. That's nice. Okay, I got a new plan. That's like a really powerful filter on that reverb. Let's go with a channel 10 that I will rename to automation. By the way, whenever I make things, I never ever use, I always use one pattern. I never break things up into blocks like this. Like I only do it in a stream just because otherwise, yeah, nobody would understand what's happening and it would just be a disaster. Okay, so we are in the automation pattern, and before I forget, I want to browse parameters and reverb, slot D, low pass filter. And we are going to edit them events. Okay. We could change up this pattern, obviously. It's like the raviest reverb I've ever heard. Or filter on a reverb. And then our beat drop will be there. Okay, so let's look at some of these. Some of these I don't like. So it's that one. Little transients here could fit into things that are otherwise empty sounding in this sequence, almost like a hi-hat. We could try it. Might sound like poo. Let's see. All right. You could also double up on them. You could also change this to be a little bit more auto-tuning. I should probably save this. Okay. I like how you could automate all these things. All right. I'm just looking at those. Can't read all the comments right now. I will, though. We'll have a chat. Don't you worry. As soon as we're done with this session. Ma, give me another minute. All right. Sub boom bass. Rob Papin. I'm not sure. If anybody's familiar with him, with these plugins, they're phenomenal. He's a really nice guy too. I've had some good email exchanges about our frustrations and loves and the music. Honestly, one of the coolest things about having a channel is when I was just the flashbulb before I had a YouTube channel. I would like always, I don't know, sometimes, I would email companies and not try and get free stuff, but just try and like get some sort of open form of communication, but it was always awkward. I remember the people who made Etherverb 2C audio. I remember emailing them and just being like, I bought their products, and I was like, thank you for, being so innovative with like your reverb and the kaleidoscope. And at the time it was like really innovative stuff. And it was really funny because they were just like, is there anything else you needed help with? And I was just like, no, I'm just wanted to, hoping that you'd be like, here's what we're working on next. But now with this channel, I have the polar opposite. I have my fingers in all the pies. I feel really weird using that euphemism and then just like drinking water and letting dead air take things themselves to play some bass. Okay. I like how this is all one scale. Like we don't have to actually. So here's the secret to. I always wanted to say this. This is the cardinal sin of EDM. It's like the times I've seen Deadmau5 say that stupid phrase. This is the cardinal sin of EDM. I should really make a phrase out of that with this. That would be pretty amazing. That would, well, no, I don't think enough people would recognize it. Based. So here's the plan, right? Up until 17, up until bar 17, we're just going to have one na na na. That's going to be our notes that we're allowed to use. Just a nice D minor. And then after that, once we actually get into the beat, we can change it up a little bit with the bass, and that'll add a little bit more harmonic complexity to it. And maybe like 1 out of 5 times you get this where it works, and it gives you the chills in your heart. So we stick with the D. And we're going to have to do a lot of ducking here too. Not that I know how to do drops. I'm actually quite terrible at any drop-based things, but even like a half pipe dropping into a... we don't have to go that high here. Okay, we'll figure everything else out after that. We need to get some drums in here. In the meantime, need some fast hi-hats. So that could probably be accomplished nicely with... Again, we run into the drum issue where I'm just like, I don't know what kind of drums I like. I don't want to spend more than a second doing this. I just don't have go-to drums. And it's just so sad. Let's go with Geist, I guess. But Geist is like overkill. Geist is like way, way too complicated. But, and let's see if I can remember how to turn off the sequencer inside it so I can just use FL Studio. I think it's here. No, that's record. That's a retro record. Don't do that. How do I turn off the sequencer inside this? Someone here is like a Geist power user. And they're going to tell me. I don't know if there is a lot of Geist users. Last time I whipped this out, people were like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. So it's possible that this is not popular enough to get help from the public. Enable song mode off. No, that's not it. Is this it? No. Can I just get this? I guess I could just have it. Ugh. All right, let's find a quick cute analog. That's not what I want. Death scatter. These are really loud. The loudness wars of the STs. It's a real thing. Oh, okay. This might actually be cool. All right, we gotta get serious with these hi-hats. This is the cardinal sin of EDM. We gotta get serious with these hi-hats here. The cardinal sin of EDM. I wonder what the cardinal sin of EDM is. I actually need... Maybe I'll watch that masterclass. Pay however much money. Learn what the cardinal sin of EDM is. And then just make my own masterclass and be like, this is the cardinal sin of IDM. I just pressed Windows key U. Now I know what that does. All right. Instead of Alt U. I imagine Windows 11, like every keystroke opens up Edge. All right, let's listen to this. Let's make a nice little hat pattern. And then this one should maybe be a different... Maybe... And then maybe something that just slowly builds. This might work, actually. I don't like how it's doubled, but I also don't care. Okay, so that would start here. All right, lovely. All right, now I got to make a stronger hi-hat pattern in Geist, which I'm also going to be very lazy about and just do another Alt-U. But I'm going to make all these lower. I'm going to pick these nicely. Ooh, maybe I'll be even lower than that. Quieter than that. I realize I could also just do this inside the VST. I also want to change the panning on this. Yeah, you do not want something that steadily panned throughout the entire track. That is the cardinal sin of bluegrass music. Alright, so what we got here? Let's play with this little grain thingy. That's a little better too. Change that, and can we like make it? Yeah, I think we can make it pan automatically differently. I know we can. You could like virtually do everything with the software. But then again, things are a lot more powerful when you're programming them in here for the drums, not for the session. It limits you in the session. Oh, we could actually put a notch filter on it. That might be handy. Can we put some effects on it maybe? Within here? I'm sure we can. Come on, Geist, hook me up, bro. Oh, we have a pad mixer, which is nice. Maybe that's what I want. Oh, and we're going to want all of the kicks. I should probably do this while we're in here. All the kicks go out to S1. Because we're going to need those. And I might want to choke them too. Because I hate them. No, choke them, meaning make them all stop each other. So we don't end up with a bunch of bass flying around, hitting people in the eye. That's the last thing we want around here. I don't like that sound. It could be cool though. Eh. Yeah, what's going on with these little blips? They could be like little glitchers. Okay, so we could choke all of these. That would be nice. So let's make a global choke group. I hate it when like I'm featuring one piece of software and then it turns into like entirely something else. But you know, we got to make a good beat here. To make the slice sound good, we gotta, you know. And obviously we could customize all of these drums, and I'm intentionally not, because otherwise, like in terms of like customize the samples and everything, that's what I would do if I were to make a flashbulb track. And nobody got time for that. That's loud, isn't it? I should probably bring the montage down here. This MIDI controller's gotten a little bit too much attention from me. Okay. Oh yeah, we wanted effects, didn't we? How do I do that? Global mixer. No, it's somewhere around here. God, this is like its own DAW. It's awesome until, oh, here we go, effects right there. Each fucking thing has one. Okay. So, what key is that? Wonderful. Effects, great. Let's add an effect. This way I don't have to do it in the send tin can reverb. And then there was like a clap somewhere. Oh yeah, this has like 40 different claps within it. Yeah, I want to give this a dark reverb, just like the slice. Can I give this a super big dark reverb? What's the BPM? 130. Not enough pre-delay. It's the most ignorant snare. I absolutely love it. All right, let's do this. What should our master bass kick be? That one. And I would want to make these part of the same choke group. Maybe the reason I'm not happy with drums is because I spent so much time on them. Grr. All right. Where was that choke group area? Layer mixer, global mixer, somewhere in here. I know we can choke this. There it is. Right? Somewhere in here? Choke. There we go. So this will choke with 3. Throw this in 3 as well. Good. And this could be a little lower. The tuning. There we go. Nice. I don't like that, but whatever. I keep saying that. I don't like that, but whatever. Maybe we're supposed to talk about something tonight. I forgot what it was, but... Brush. I'm surprised I remember all these keystrokes. And then maybe... take one of these out for every single thing. Use it almost as an open hi-hat. I like choking... This sounds terrible. I like choking everything in my sessions. Like that like that duck video, everything's, even in that little beat, everything was choked on the MPC. All right, let's like just mash the hell out of this. Oh, one last thing is we need to split up how this is processed. So we have the sub boom bass goes into this duct output. Good. Now let's see how this sounds. And I'm still going to mute the slicing because I want it to be a surprise. Man, it's a pretty heavy beat there. Go to this track only. kind of compressor to put this into. I want to slam this. God. What is the name of that one? There's one compressor that I absolutely love. I forgot it. Is it Baby Audio? The Comeback Kid? Nope. Oh, the New York one. Yeah, let's just hear that on its own. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, when that parallel... There we go. All right. I could be less happy than that, which is, you know, about as good as I'm going to feel about anything I do on a stream. Okay, now let's mute that, and we want to remember that the stream is in, or the stream, the... Okay, so... So A sharp, so D, A sharp, and then G maybe? So D, A sharp, G, E, okay. Try that. Oops. That way we have a little melodic sequence that changes things up just a bit. And now the last thing that we need, I don't know why I have this in my head, but I have this old, do I have it? Yeah, Phonak. God, I hope this doesn't crash my session. It's bridged. It's a 32-bit plugin. For some reason, I just really love this plugin. I think it's like even made in like... Yeah, let's calm down with the semitones. Yeah, for some reason this plugin, I don't know what they did with it, but it's just, I love the way it sounds. It's just unusual, I think. That's like the best way I could put it. I feel like that E is just not going to fit. I mean, we'll try it. Let me hear this pattern. Might be a little too melted. I'm going to duck that too. Okay. Maybe an inversion there. All right. Oh, I hope that works. Man, that would suck if it didn't work. But we're not going to know till we know. Or till we hear it. What am I talking about? Ready? Let's do this. Let's listen to this track. I didn't even put like a fill. All right. I want to hear it pitched up a little bit, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. Sounds nice. No cardinal EDM. Yeah, is it clipping? All right, no more clip. Let me actually let me plop it through a nice gluey compressor. Do I have a gluey compressor? I thought I did. Here, let's take a look through Ben's plugins here. I thought I had a New York. I love New York. God, there was like a compressor, and I keep forgetting it. It's so funny. It's like when, you know, hey, I'm not gonna look now, but I actually did a video that was like the best software of 2019 or something like that, and that was on there. But whatever. All right, let's just take this quick bit. Just quick little compressor on the end here. Or actually, let's use Vintage Warmer. It's better. I mean, if I'm playing the final thing, it has to go through Vintage Warmer or something. And make sure it doesn't clip quite as much. These are weird settings. All right. That's still clippy. Microsoft Clippy. Still make sure it does not clip. Okay. I'll even shut my mouth so everybody can hear the song only. Let's try it one more time. You can't hear me. What am I doing? Okay, pulsar mu. That's right. Do I have that on this? I have to. It's like one of my. All right. There it is. VST3. We're starring it. It's never gonna get lost in the 1,000 plugins again. Did I lose it again? I have no idea how that happened. Where are you, Pulsar Mu? All right, I'll just open you directly from the loader. Weird, it doesn't show up in the menu. I wonder if it's wonder if it uses the mu symbol or something. Anyway, here it is. This is the boss compressor. Or I guess I should not be using that. Yeah, listen to this. Like, let's just listen to the drop with this on. Such a gorgeous compressor. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, hopefully it doesn't. Do you guys really like it better pitched up? Like, yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of the snare. Honestly, it's like one of those things where it's like an 808 snare would just crack, like, boom, like right in there. But, you know, time and all that is a thing. You know, the whole time thing. So, why can't I leave the screen? Oh, fine. Don't let me leave the screen. Whatever. Guess I'll open Edge next time. I was gonna look at speaking of Edge. Look at this. Anybody see this thing? No, go away. I don't want to accept your cookies. The Behringer Edge? Anybody like that? Anybody see the Behringer Edge? It's yeah, that's the controversy of the day. What's your opinion on this, guys and girls and everything in between? How do you feel about the Edge? And while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to answer this question. I have 4 monitors for edit. Yeah, I have a lot of monitors. It's just that I'm streaming, so I have to cram everything into one, unfortunately. Ooh, Clevgran Grand Finale. I've never tried that. I think I may even have a license for that. I need to check that out. Do I run into optional paralysis with all of my plugins? Absolutely-ish. I don't know. Maybe not. I think that a lot of times I run into things where like where I just like feel like I'm not learning one enough because I have so many. Like I could give it more time and I'm not. Especially if it's a company where I'm reviewing it or something like that. I feel like that's kind of problematic sometimes for my brain. But otherwise, there's ones that I just like and I just stick with. Like, I mean, you saw me like open up a 32-bit plugin just now from probably the last time it was updated was probably like 15 years ago. And it just works. And yeah, so yeah. Yeah, so the Edge is funny for me to a friend of mine asked me if I thought that it was like a jab at me, because, you know, I think like the #1 Behringer video on YouTube at this point is me calling them edgelords in the title, but I don't think that they would actually name something after a video I made. I mean, I think the word Edge is a good name for a synth. As good as anything. I don't think it's a bad name for a synth. I'm going to tell you something. Let's go through some positives and negatives here. Positives and negatives. Edge is a nice color. I dig the color. I like the hot pink. I really do. I love that color. I might be happier if here's my, these are weird critical things, right? If I'm going to clone a drummer from another mother and make a drummer from an Austrian maniac, the D-Fam over here, and I would make the outside, this wood, fake wood on the side here, that does not match these two other colors. And I'm not like a color person. I know nothing about colors. That's why Michaela's around to be like, yo, you need some colors in the back. I didn't come up with that. She came up with that. Yeah, and now I just have two lights that stay there all the time for every stream. Yeah, this wood on the side of the pink is just atrocious. But this, if this were black, like just black plastic, and then if this were like a very dark gray, like see this gray here? If the pink were that dark gray, and then the inside, or just like the trim was pink, or if the entire thing was black and gray, and the trim was pink, and the sides are pink, that would be one hot looking synth, and I would actually be like, oh, man, I am tempted. I just want to own that because of the way it looks, but this is not enough. It looks a little too consumery this way. I guess I like the MIDI in and MIDI out. From my understanding, I zoomed in on another picture of it. It doesn't have a reset in, which is the number one DFAM problem or thing that the DFAM's lacking that I could think of, that I kind of came up with years after getting it, right? Like I didn't cross my mind until I used it a whole bunch, and I was just like, I really wish that I could send a signal to make this thing reset. And it is not Euro rackable. And here's my take. I like the knobs better. And otherwise, I don't care. I don't care that they're ripping off Moog, because I know a little bit about the DFAM. I reviewed it before it came out. I've had one for a while. I love the DFAM. I think it's a great thing. It did not sell well. It's not one of Moog's, like, they overestimated. They thought that it would do similarly as well as the Mother 32 did. It did not. Neither did the Subharmonicon. I don't understand why this is cloned. Like, I feel like an 8-step drum machine, I think this is analog and digital, obviously, if it has MIDI, but I think that an 8-step analog drum machine that requires like a considerable amount of patching to get a kick and snare sound in the same sequence, and where you have to like borrow pitch to make that happen with like the noise coming in and out. Long story short, I don't think that that's for everybody. I think that's for a very few amount of people. And one of the best uses that I've gotten out of my DFAM is not as a drum sequencer, a drum synthesizer, but as a bass one, or even as a high-pitched one, and you're using the sequencer through an external quantizer. But with this not being Euro rackable, I don't care. I don't feel like they've violated Moog in any way. I mean, obviously they've like tried to, but I don't think that this will eat into Moog sales the same way where I don't think that the Crave really ate into the Mother 32 sale. I don't understand why they made this. That's my take. Like, I feel like I'm looking over there and seeing a bunch of modules. I would have been more tempted by a Subharmonicon. Yeah, I mean, they should be jumping on, like, if they're going to rip off modules, they could rip off other ones. This one is, yeah, I don't know. So I'm reading some of your comments here. Yeah, Joe Phillips, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, it's not surprising. Let's just put it that way. Like, I would be complaining about it if Korg made it, or if Roland made it, or if Arturia made it, right? I would be like, yo, this is like a product that's still on the market from Moog. But we know Behringer does this, and let me give it to you straight here. This is Behringer wants you to think that they are in the business, and I've said this in my Behringer video, but let me make it even more clear. Behringer is in the business of wanting you to think that you are buying clones of more expensive synthesizers, and they are getting away with this atrocious copyright infringement or IP infringement by making that. What they're making this is not a clone of the DFAM. It has the same markings. Like over here, it's obviously changed up a little bit, but even when they make something that's a clone, it's not a clone. They're not using the same components. And if they're not using the same components, that means it has to be engineered differently. And if it's being engineered differently, that means there has to be research and development, meaning that it is generally almost as hard as making your own synth from scratch. But the thing is that making your own synth from scratch, you have to explain what it is to somebody. And you have to tell people, this is what this synth does, here's what it's capable of, this is what it's better than, this is what it's not as good as, and now it's going to compete in this marketplace. Whereas Behringer, they're for the last 20 years, and now that they're into synths, it's much stronger than it's ever been. Their business model is people thinking that they're getting a steal by getting something cheaper than it would be otherwise. And the more that we go into that and just shame them for cloning things, the better their business is. Because for every person who's mad about it, there's two people who are like, whoa, I'm getting a DFAM for, $170 or however much this costs. And there is research and development in making another version of something cheaper. And sometimes it's arguably even more difficult because you're cloning a sound rather than coming up with your own. I don't know what the research and development was for DeepMind, but they had no problem making that, and there's no quality control issues with that I know of. It's just that this is better for them because they make more money initially, and they have a quicker turnaround on their synths. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's I feel like we as a community need to understand that and kind of get out of that. For people who are new to the synth world, and when they go down Sweetwater or Amazon, even more importantly, because that's who Behringer's mostly partnered with, you're going to have a hard time finding a DFAM on Amazon, but you're not going to have a hard time finding this on Amazon. And that's really where it's important. And people who are new and want their first drum machine, I guess it's worth noting that they're not getting a clone. They're getting something that has the same feature set that's designed to look like a clone, but they're not getting a clone. If they were getting a clone, I would buy I would be buying a bunch of Behringer stuff and secretly using it. But yeah, they're not. You're getting something else. You're getting the TB3, whatever, TD3, the ULI 3, whatever you call the 303 one. That does not sound anything like 303 to me. And most YouTube creators agree with me on that. It's just not. For the money, it's totally a good deal if you just want a little baseline, but it's not a clone. It's not even close to a clone. It has a USB port. Anyway, that's my take here. But yeah, so I think my take here is that I don't understand why it's not Euro rackable and why it's not a closer competitor. And why they would do this with something that doesn't have that much. Like I said, the DFAM wasn't exactly flying off the shelves, so whatever. Could be worse. Yeah, Hyperion is awesome. I love it. Hyperion's such a nice thing. I want to, while we're talking synths here, I'm going to put a link. I'm going to pin a link in the comment after this video. And there is this whole, thing that we're talking about here, this whole Antares contest, which is a big deal. I don't know why I can't just drag this into a new monitor. This is annoying, but whatever. I don't know why I'm locked into monitors for some reason. I must have accidentally pressed window key monitor lock or something. Antares is giving away 3 licenses for this. One being 3 years, one being 2 years, one being 1 year, totaling some crazy amount of money. And they have, rather than it being something that I manage, since this is a pretty big in terms of monetary value, they're managing it, and you could sign up on their page rather than just me playing GeoGuessr or something like that. And they will be announcing or I guess the deadline of it, and I assume that they'll be announcing on Halloween. And so I've put a link on my Patreon, and I'll put a link here. I'll pin the comment after the stream, and you can check that out. It's pretty awesome. I'm happy that they did that. That's very nice. 3 years for, a reasonably expensive suite like this is a pretty awesome prize. And I was reading some anger in the in the chat about subscription models for software, forced subscription models in software. I think I talked about this a bit before. I was against it very much in the beginning. I think just because the idea of me not owning something, but then I kind of realized, I had been through how much money have I given Steinberg for updating Cubase? Like, how much money have I given Maxon for updating Cinema 4D? How much money had I given Adobe before Adobe Cloud came out? And I don't even use Adobe Cloud anymore, but I feel like over time, usually when I do the math, the subscription model is cheaper by just constantly giving me the newest version that I usually would be buying anyway. And I'm talking about this with 4 or 5 things. I'm not talking about it with a game on your phone. That's BS unless it's some sort of amazing MMORPG or something. MMORPG. But for something like this that's already prohibitively expensive without the subscription model, I'm kind of a fan. I would be happy. I understand why, I don't know everybody's budget. I would be happier if it kind of went, I remember Serum had a thing where it was a subscription license and then you paid it off. It was a rent to own thing, but over the course of a while, right? I would be happier with that. And Terry's, if you're watching this, maybe owning some of this stuff, maybe even the older version, after they've been a subscriber for a certain amount of time, and then they have the chance to upgrade or resubscribe if they want all the newer versions of things. That at least gives people the option, and I don't think that you would be at any monetary loss for that. There would be a few outliers who would be I don't care that I have a 5-year-old version of, Auto-Tune Artist or something. But I think for the most part, any company, that also keeps companies motivated to keep making new features. And so the one downside that I'm currently seeing, in my personal opinion, with this pricing model, not for Antares, because clearly they're releasing new stuff so fast that I just made an Antares video and now I'm doing another one on a stream. I'm almost frustrated by it. I'm you guys are moving too fast for me to cover all your stuff that's coming out. They just came out with Vocodist and now Slice, and I think something else is on the horizon. But things like Adobe, man, Adobe Premiere, After Effects, I feel there hasn't been a new notable feature in years in either one of those. They're tiny little things that they just sprinkle out over time. Photoshop at least has the neural stuff, but it's still not that good. It still is I don't know, it's not all that useful. Photoshop I feel has been the most progressive, but Lightroom, all of the Adobe Creative Suite stuff outside of Photoshop, they haven't really justified the subscription. I would be totally happy with, the 2018 version of Premiere and After Effects and everything else. And they also seem to be losing stability over time. So that's the downside to the potential downside to the subscription model, is that you run into a situation where the company no longer has a monetary incentive to keep innovating and to keep making you want to upgrade. Because, if you remember Photoshop 7, Photoshop 8, Photoshop 9, or Cubase or any of these things, Ableton, like they roll out a lot of features with a new version because they want everybody to throw the money at it to upgrade. Otherwise, they don't make money as a company. So, but I don't see that problem with Antares. I don't even see that problem with Office. Like Office seems to like add enough features and offer enough like cloud-based blah blah to make it, something else. But yeah, so I think what I'm saying here is that, yeah, I see both sides. I don't boycott subscriptions in expensive software because it's super expensive software that's made affordable by subscriptions. And like I mentioned earlier, I realized that when I was licensing 3D software for music videos, which is a whole new ballgame because it's made for like studios that are making Pepsi ads and stuff. And here's a little old me trying to like just render something to a flashbulb track for a music video. I would have lost a lot of money, but fortunately, next time I make a music video, I could just renew that license for a month and render it and use the rendering engine or use the physics modeling engine or whatever it is. And I think that's good because I feel like a lot of people, especially with like Antares using a monthly, they have yearly, and I think they have monthly payments. I think Adobe does too. I mean, if you run a studio and you're mostly recording, I don't know, film scores and stuff like that, and every now and then you have a vocalist come in to do something, then like, there you go. Now you're paying, like $30 a year because you're only licensing it for, you're only like actually, I don't know. So in that kind of way, it kind of makes sense. But I do understand like the value of feeling like you own the license to your software. And I feel like, oddly enough, any company that gets too far outside of what people are willing to do in software or anything that's intangible, they just end up getting pirated. And that's all there is to it. And so there's always that like damning hell in software is like, yeah, if you make it too expensive and if you make it too prohibitive, then you're going to be dealing with the piracy issue a lot higher. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, edit. Blackmagic Fusion's amazing. But guess what? I have like Resolve Pro. Like I have the studio version of it. Just because I think it's totally, yeah. So that's my take. Since I know that people are grumpy about subscription models. I think from having this channel, I kind of understand how difficult it is to stay in business as a software company, and actually, that it actually has a lot of developers that are making a lot of cool things. I see both sides of it. And at the end of the day, if I can't afford something, I can't afford it, and that's all there is to it, I guess. And a lot of other people will pirate it. Thomas, iLok. I'm okay with iLok usually if it's the sign-in version and if it doesn't require constant connection, which is what most iLok software is using now. The dongle I've completely, like Cubase, for example, like I won't use it anymore. I'm done. Like I'm just done with the dongle. I refuse to feature anything on this channel that has a required dongle. I mean, maybe if there was some software suite that somehow justified a $20,000 price tag, I'd be like, all right, fine, that's worth the USB port. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Do I have any idea who to contact to send a demo to Warp or Scam? No, not anymore. I don't even see. I would just release your music and just keep making it. Just keep making music and keep releasing music and keep all your money over time. Because if your music's good, it'll do well. I don't the days of like a record label being a huge benefit to an artist, you know, I feel like that kind of ended when people stopped, you know, buying CDs and vinyl as their main way of listening to music. And you might disagree with me, but it would, for me to exclusively release with a record label now, it would require a lot. Like I would have to get fat paid just because that literally it's just me donating money to another company, because I could hire a publicist myself too, and I could trickle it. You know, you could hire a publicist for $500 and see what they do for you. Spoiler alert: I've not hired a publicist ever in my life that has justified the means, but I feel like my music's also hard to promote. So anyway, that's my advice. If you want to send them a demo just to be like, hey, I'm out here, then go for that. But release your music yourself. Don't give anybody your money. Even Alpha Basic, my label that shut down last year with the pandemic and the mailing crisis, most of the artists on there, it was just like a gateway for them to get a little bit more exposure and for them to get discounted CD rates sometimes. And yeah, I'm not even making CDs anymore, so we good. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, edit the NI software license. Oh my god, yeah. I don't know if I should say this on a stream or not, but like I've bought so many. I used to be not endorsed. I used to be sponsored by Native Instruments. Not even sponsored. I mean, yeah, I guess sponsored. I like performed with Core back in we're talking like 15 years ago. And I have a license, like a recurring license for most of the things that they release. Like it's just sort of this blanket license, which sounds like an awesome thing, but honest to God, I pirate almost all of it. I mean, I own the license, but I pirate it just because their e-licenser is so bad. And it screwed me so many times where I've needed to like open an old session and then like the activation key doesn't work anymore and they've like changed it to something else. And like, this is when like, you know, this is back in the day when like an ad agency would need music by 3 p.m. Eastern. And I'd be like, oh my God, it's 1 p.m. and I'm trying to like solve this activation thing. And so I'd always just go download the torrent of the contact library or whatever it is and then render it out and give them the stems. And I just ended up being like, I can't trust your company anymore. Yeah. So, I do want to do a video on piracy at some point, but, you know, this is, I don't endorse it really, but I think that in cases like that, it's, you know, I have to get paid. So, yeah. We have the contest. I already talked about that. A week from today is my birthday. So I don't think I'm going to be streaming on my birthday because I imagine my parents will be here or something. That's pretty much like who will hang out with me on my birthday. And ducks. I'll have a lot of ducks over. Lucy, of course, will be hanging out. Maybe one of Lucy's friends will come by. So I'll be busy. But earlier in the week, on Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to do sim selections, which for those of you who are familiar, in my Patreon and Discord community, they have a monthly songwriting challenge, and we'll be having a listening party. And so that'll be my stream next week. It'll be earlier, a couple days earlier. I'll announce it in like 2 days. It'll either be Monday or Tuesday. I'm thinking most likely Tuesday. And it'll be super fun. And then we'll play some GeoGuessr. And yeah, next video is likely to be the Vector Synth one. I have like a video schedule ahead of me that's pretty huge. So much going on. Very tired. But yeah. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank Antares for being generous with the licenses for the giveaway. Like I said earlier, you can just refresh this video in like 5 minutes after I'm done. I'm going to put that link in both in the description, and I'm going to pin a comment. And that way you could get to that, and I'll probably tweet it as well. If you remember my Patreon, that link's already there for the contest. I'm sure they already have some signups. And then there's also a link below if you want to see Auto-Tune Slice and see how much it costs and all that stuff, the link should already be in the description. And that link should have some form of tracking on it that tells you that you're coming here from my video, meaning that Antares will be like, wow, this guy really brings attention to our products. We're going to give his followers even more things in the future, and then we'll have even more giveaways, and everybody profits, and this whole thing's just one big Ocean's 11 thing for Auto-Tune licenses. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I am excited to see you next week for the sim selections, and thanks to my patrons, of course, for making this happen. And yeah, outside of that, I'll see you soon, and here comes the B screen.